I don't know. Gosh darn it. Can y'all hear me? Let me pause the music. I'm downloading something for Emma to look at for the Snark Crew, so I was doing that, and I'm just trying to see if it has fully transcribed. Oh boy. Looks good. Okay, download. PDF? Sure. Download one file. Okay, let me download these real quick for Emma. I'm home! That's why we've got a brick wall behind us. And I have my travel camera hooked up. And I've got my travel stand because I can't find my right connection for my amazing microphone stand that Wendy gave me. Blink, blink! Val, what's up? Val and maybe guess? Harper, what's up? Blink Blanc, love it. We're not doing Blink Blink anymore, we're doing Blink Blanc. Okay, do you want to allow downloads? I do. I'm downloading, I wouldn't ever recommend. Val, for now, Gus is getting me some foods. Love that for you. Love that for y'all. Let's see. Did we download the file? Just double checking. Alright, okay. Got that. Let me just get these sent to Emma real quick. I know, I'm like, why are you doing this? We're snarking with, well, we're not snarking. We're like giving an informed commentary from someone who is high ranking in Beachbody and who's has lots of experience because, anyways, instead of, okay, download, PDF, download. I don't pay for human transcription. I pay for the robot transcription, so. Hello, Gus! Also, look what I got. Oh no, is it backwards? It's backwards! Gosh darn it. Is it backwards now? We've got a book with tons of personal pictures from every event they've gone to with Gary Young. What up? Half price books. You win forever. Let's see. Did we get 2 now? We've got 2. We got one more file to do. If I didn't do this, I would just not do it. Okay. Doo-doo. Doo-doo. We love food for y'all. Download. Download a PDF. I'm going to give her the PDF and the audio file so we don't give any views for Spotify. Alright. Let me just send these over to her. I know. I should have just not gone live yet, but here we are. I feel like it's a good amount of peer pressure. Downloads. Copy. Ouch. Documents. Spotify converter. Huh? Oh, there it is. Paste. Alright. Are you converted? Are we in here? Okay, there we go. Compress. Sorry? Okay. Ashley Molstad podcast with transcriptions. Alright. And I don't know where to send it. There we go. I'll just load it up to my Google Drive. Sorry, chat. I'll be right back. Tab. I know. I'm literally myself critiquing myself in my head about we could have done the stream way smoother, but here we are. I think taking down MLMs is important, and I'm also, it's just bad management of time. MLM submissions. All right. Ding ding. Blink blonk. Kira! Hi! Oh, Kira, look what we've got. That's got tons of pictures. It has tons. And this lady's a Royal Crown Diamond. Or she used to be. Look. Look at all the pictures. Oh my god. Okay. Do. Alright. Hi, Jean. I wish every podcast came with transcriptions. I do too. So if y'all know, the people who repeat their podcast on YouTube, thank you for the like. I saw the thumb floating up into the abyss. If you go to YouTube, if there are some people that post their podcast there, you can click on the three dots next to the video, hit transcript, and YouTube with current videos will transcribe them, like an auto kind of transcribe. But I pay for them. I just got it. When I came, I've been out of town for a long time. I went on a trip, then the airport lost my suitcase, so I was working from home, working from my parents' house over like Thanksgiving, and then I was like, I'm feeling anxious. I want to stay here another week, and so I stayed another week, and now I'm back. So I just got it in the mail, and I haven't gone to my post office deal because they're not open on Sundays yet. They're not open. They're not ever going to be open on Sundays. Where's the zipped file? No? Here we go. Copy link. Share. Anyone with a link? I'll just say viewer. Can viewers download copy link? Alright. Paste. Here is the link to the MP3 and the transcripts for first 3 episodes. Anyone who wants them. Alright. Alright, I'm closing that out. We're back. Okay. What do y'all want to talk about? I want to talk about Young Living because here's what happened. And I'm just going to read you some stuff. Oh, my Instagram messages. I don't know why I'm humming the Lord of the Rings. What? Gary Young, the world leader in essential oils. Going where no man has gone before. Just kidding. What is this? What? Oh my god. Who printed this? Do we want to look at this? I want to look at this. Can we look at this, Kira? Oh, did Young Living print this? It looks like Young Living printed it. You know what I'm saying? Hello, Melissa! Mommy has all the tea. Also, I got blocked by Ben Riley today. Not that I'm like saying you can't block whoever the flippity flop you want to. I wasn't even that mean. Jess found it. It's Mary's book on Gary. Yes, look at it. Okay, we're pulling it up. I'm on a green screen so we can put it right behind me. I think. Ugh. These are my converted charts. So let me open up Instaspam. Let me go back. Be smart. Here's what happened. Someone who wants to remain anonymous, sent me a video that Ben Riley was loose on the internet, claiming that this sports team was using Ningxia as a anti-cramp shot. And the way that she was squeezing it into the player's mouth, the trainer, there's no way that was Ningxia. You know why? Those Ningxia shots, it's pure liquid. You just have to look at it and it leaves the packet. Okay? And so she's like, squeezing it out of the packet into his mouth. I'm like, for one, if you've ever drank Ningxia from the package, you know that's not Ningxia. You know it's not Ningxia. So, she also sent me what she thought it was. It looked exactly like that. It's an anti-cramp supplement. Lynn, good morning. Blockety block. I got blocked too. I was mean. I feel like he deserved it a little bit, but. And so I made a reel and I didn't tag him, and then I was like, flippity flop this. I commented on his reel and I said, this is not Ningxia. Well, actually I said, this period is period, not period, Ningxia period. It's deceptive what you're doing. It's fraudulent and you're using it for your own financial gain. Okay? Okay. And then I got blocked. Literally so fast. Alright. Okay. Let me make this big. We don't want this. Yes. Okay, we're back. Okay, I'm gonna make myself... what am I gonna make myself? Why am I a square? Why am I square? No. No. There we go. Oh, God. Transparent. Here we go. I'm back as a blob. Oh, I don't want to have rounded corners. There we go. Oh my God. Where did it go? Okay, I'm doing my best, Your Honor. Why can't I make this bigger? Zoom in. Okay. Oh my God. Here's what we're gonna do. I know. Do you see what happened? I forgot how to stream, apparently. Screen share. Edit. Safari. Okay. There we go. Can I make this bigger? Of course not. No. No. Okay, that's better. Okay. I'm trying. I still thought like, oh my gosh, I'd be able to do this so fast. False. Oh, that's better. I keep saying, oh, that's better, and then I keep messing it up. Ooh. How is everyone? Oh, we're in the book. It's a little too big. Dang it. Okay, is this better? Is that good enough? Do y'all believe me? Alright. Here we go. Buckle up. Oh, man. I don't want to be a square. There we go. Alright. Oh my God. Okay, we're back. DC's back. Hello. I'm trying the Olaplex cure. Please keep fingers crossed that Lynn doesn't appear. What happened? He left my comment up, but restricted comments so no one else could say anything. Hello, Gus. Welcome, welcome. I'm surprised he left it up there. I mean, small victory. He made an update. That's literally, it's bullshit. It's literal bullshit. How hard does it have to be like, oh, I was kidding. Or I was way wrong. That would have been cool if it was Ningxia. Any NFL teams want to give me a call? You know, he could have like not been an asshole about it. All right, here we go. I'm going to read it from my phone. And we'll turn the pages together. Oh my god. No, we won't. Go back. Go back. Go back. We missed all the good pictures. D. Gary Young. D does not stand for doctor. It stands for Donald. The world
leader in essential oils. May Gary Young's passion for life touch your heart and help ignite the fire within you. No, thank you. No, thank you. Oh my God. This excerpt is dedicated to all who carry the torch of freedom, determined to live an abundant life of health and happiness, and have a desire to share what they have discovered with those who are looking for the messenger, who would bring them the same opportunity. The people of the world. What the flippity flop? What the flippity flop? Oh my god. What?
We need to protect Kira at all costs. She's Young Living's number one enemy. Oh my god, what are we doing? I'm so small. DC, did you forget how to stream? Apparently. Here we go. Welcome to my stream. Please subscribe. We never have technical difficulties, except we do all the time. It's a riot here. It's a riot. I say riot in a good way, not in a devastating way. Okay? All right. Preface. We've got Gary Young on the left-hand side in a cowboy hat, a cowboy belt, and cowboy boots with jeans and a button-up shirt on, and he looks to be talking to a bunch of very interested, potentially independent brand partners with Young Living, and the people surrounding him in his distillery are holding their phones so they can capture every word coming off of Gary's lips. Oh my god. I love being in the book. This is awesome. Except what the heck? Okay. I don't want to read everything. I'm just going to scan it. I'm just going to scan through it. Oh, I'll read this part.
Are you ready? This is a book about the life of D. Gary Young and the path that led him to become the world leader in essential oils. A lot is written about aromatherapy and the use and application of Mother Nature's precious essential oils. Many books have the word aromatherapy in the title, and people all over the world are buying them, looking for alternatives for gardening, cooking, skincare, emotional and physical well-being, environmental concerns, and other interests. Okay, Kira sent me a message. Hold on. Doo-doo. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Oh my god. What is this? What?
What is this? Oh my... It's a little cabin? On what? When you get to his childhood home part, I have a picture for you. I just saw it on Instagram. I can't believe it. Is that it? I'm just going to read the first paragraph of every section because, like, you know, if they can't get their message across in the first paragraph, what are we doing here? I'm joking. I'm literally joking. I love reading. Dedication. I cannot see any of this.
Snark voice to the rescue. Gary's great love is being with God in the mountains on his horse with his family beside him. Were it not for such a terrible, debilitating accident, he would still be in the mountains. The path that destiny has taken him would never have come to be, and the gifts that he has given to the world would never have been given. His instinctive knowing about the essences hidden within the vast web of the life-giving flora that Mother Nature offers to the world, and the quest to discover their secrets would never have entered his mind. Oh my God. What?
Talk about egocentric. What other? I mean, I would say, I don't know. Here we go. Next page. When was this? 20. Here we go. This picture was at the Young Living International Grand Convention in Dallas, Texas, August 2015. That's where Mary Kay's headquarters is, by the way, Clowntown. I have been to a convention in Dallas. Also, Mary Kay's house at one point was pink. Hello, Christina. Heather, what's up? We don't know yet. This is just an homage to the great D. Gary Young. From his wife. Oh my gosh, we're reading every paragraph, okay?
A pioneer in his own right, D. Gary Young has spent the last 30 years of his life researching the ancient ways and traditional methods of distilling from the last century. He has sadly watched the true art of distillation slowly being lost to the fast extraction with modern equipment and chemicals.
If you are listening to this stream only, the words I'm reading are on the left-hand side of the screen, and on the right-hand side of the screen, on the left-hand side of the screen is a picture of Mary and Gary Young. Mary is sitting on a saddle. She's wearing a purple top with white fringe and a cowboy hat with a white skirt and boots. Her coat is purple and her boots are purple. And Gary Young, D. Gary Young, is wearing a black embroidered suit with a white shirt and a red kind of, it's not a tie, it's, I don't know how to say this. And it's not a tie, but it's like a red piece of fabric tied around his neck. And traditionally, I've more seen it in other cultures that Gary's not a part of, but he also wearing a cowboy hat. Behind them are two haystacks, and there's a blown, like a very enlarged picture of a lavender plant as well. So it's just like a photo booth moment at the Grand Convention from 2015. Oh boy. We have a... Oh boy. Oh yeah, y'all should go watch Cat's video. I don't think I played that. A pioneer in his own right. Yes, he decided he was a pioneer. Thanks, Mary. Yeah, we went... Oh, I got to go in her office, Clowntown, because my... at the time, my director was shooting up there, and up to the top, and so I got to go to Mary Kay's office, which was cool. Mary still looks pretty much the same. Yep. So this just says, this is columns of text, about 20 years, seed, cultivate, distillation, test, seal. And anybody, if you want this, Kira, is it okay for me to give the link out in Instagram if people want it? You have it on the playlist? Okay. All right, here's a picture of Gary in the snow riding a brown horse, and he is also covered in snow. He has a rope tied to his saddle, and he looks, I don't know. He's not smiling. The title on the right-hand page says, A Path Unknown. The quote says, the time will come that if you don't grow it, you won't have it. I'm reading the first paragraph. Okay.
Oh my god. Oh. Go next page. No. Next page. Alright. How could Gary have understood the significance of these words spoken by Mr. Henry Viard? The Frenchman was speaking about his beloved lavender essential oil, but when he said this, lavender was plentiful. Oh my god. This is just wild.
I'm just going to read the first paragraph because we're not going to get into super detailed. We've got pictures. We've got family pictures. So, Val, if you want, whoever's in the chat, if you want to message me on Insta Spam, I will send you it. There's pictures here. So I'll just zoom in because it's hard. It's not Gary in front. So top left-hand picture, it's a black and white photo. There are, it looks like 4 kids of varying ages and an older gentleman. Gary in front of his maternal grandfather, Nancy. Gary's older sister, who moved to Canada with him for a short time, is to the left. Then, bottom left-hand picture is the Donald N. Young family, 1963. Then, bottom right picture, still on the left page. At age 14, Gary tracked and shot this cougar, which had been killing their sheep for over 2 months. Okay, sorry guys. Sorry. Gary grew up. Okay, so we're gonna look at this. Then I'm gonna show you the pictures that Kira sent me. Gary grew up in a 16 by 20 foot cabin with a dirt roof until the age of 4. Then his father built a 30 by 30 foot 4-room cabin where he lived with his parents and 5 siblings until he was 17 years old. They lived 12 miles from town and had no electricity or running water. Electricity finally came when he was 16 years old, as well as their first hand crank phone that was routed through the Forest Service line that connected to the lookout and ranger stations for fire patrol. In that top rightmost picture there's mountains in the background. There's a green valley with trees on the perimeter. There is a wooden cabin with a brown roof. I'm guessing it's a dirt roof. And there's a fence around the home. And then closer to the camera is a barbed wire fence. So on the right page, bottom left, there's a picture of cows, and in the distance you see snow-capped mountains, and the caption says Life on the Ranch 1955. Okay, we're still on the right page, bottom middle. During the summer of 1967, Gary logged over 2,500 miles in the saddle in the Idaho wilderness, patrolling for fires, clearing trails, and packing supplies to the lookout posts. And then last picture, bottom right page, bottom right, Gary's father in front of the first dirt roof 16 by 20 foot cabin where Gary lived until age 4. Okay. Now, we're going to change scenes because I'm going to put right here. I think I'm going to try. All right. Let me download these. Save image to downloads. Save image to downloads. Save image to downloads. Save image to downloads. Okay. So we are going to share a picture on the screen. I'm saying this out loud because I'm trying to not mess it up. Okay, I'm going to share this first one so you can get the full impact. Of course you can. Because I dropped it right on front of my face. Okay, here we go. So here is, behind it is Young Living headquarters. In front of it is the replica wooden cabin, and you see a line of people waiting to see inside. Wait, there's a part of his story that's true. Howdy, partners. Hey, Tish. That greeting seems appropriate with the pictures on the screen. You are correct. How are you doing, Tish? Well, again, we have some pictures like in the book, so yes, he could, make it seem better, but I think there's part of his story that's true. He might have grown up on a small ranching farm. Okay, yeah, y'all should go listen to Allie. So, did he live next to the Ingalls and run in the fields with Laura and Carrie? Lynn! Okay, you know the Little House on the Prairie TV show? The one of the little, was it the littlest sister? Is on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. It's Kyle, whatever her last name is. Kyle something. Am I crazy or is he like Benjamin Franklin? He's coming across like that. Not Benjamin Franklin. Okay. Next picture. Can I edit this? No, I can't. Sure can't. All right. Can I just drop it on the screen? That would be awesome. Is that going to be what I can do? I'm just trying all these because... So... Heck yes, I can just drop it on the screen. Sorry. Look, this is... We're on the... I just popped a picture on the screen. 1/3 of the picture to the far right is a corner of the Young Living building. The 2/3 on the left is the replica of his cabin home, and there's people standing on the porch waiting to look inside. Kyle Richards. Yes, she played Carrie, I think. Hi, Fizzlesticks. No, yeah, go watch Kat's video. She's incredible. Would love y'all to support Kat. Okay, next picture. This is awesome. Okay, and just to show you... Oh, wait, we already saw this picture. Dang it. All right. What? I'm saying what because... Oh, I renamed it accidentally. So we've got bunk beds, table, I mean, they spent some money on this cabin, okay? Log cabins are not cheap to build. My parents' house burned down earlier this year, and it's expensive to rebuild, and it's expensive to build in the first place. Why? Did I download 2 of the same pictures? I don't think I grabbed one of them because one of them showed another bed. Hold on. Let me grab it. New. Trying to be more careful not to like dox myself, so I'm a little like slow on the uptake. Okay. Where is it? Here it is. This is a picture I didn't download. Save to downloads. Okay, you see this? So parents' bed is right there. And then the bunk beds. And they put the cowboy hats. And there's a wash basin. But why build a remake of his childhood home? I think that he really liked the impact of his story. Okay, for sure. You would think this is Abe Lincoln's cabin, and it's frickin' Gary Young, and he put it right in front of his headquarters, and we listened to his son on the podcast talk about the dedication of that bronze sculpture and how they all felt the presence of Gary Young again in the building because of the sculpture that was there. It's like, come on. Inflate his ego. Yes, exactly. Okay, let's go change scenes. Yes, we're back. Next page. That looks just like his son, doesn't it? On the left? Let's see. So, I'll read some of these captions, but I won't read everything. As a young boy, I dreamed of going to Canada and homesteading a ranch on the Canadian frontier. In 1967, when I was 18, my dream came true when I loaded my truck and my horse and moved to British Columbia. In 1968, I got in on that last Homestead Act in the Caribou District with 320 acres, 30 miles in the wilderness, where I began building my horse ranch and logging business. Little did I know that here in the wilds of Canada, the destiny that awaited me would change my life forever. In September 1967, at age 18, Gary packed his red Mustang and drove it to Canada for the first time. A few weeks later, he returned to get his truck, his horse, and the rest of his belongings, intent on living his dream. So, I know stuff is more expensive now. Can I just say, he has a red Mustang, he has a truck, he has a horse, and 320 acres in Canada. So, I feel like he was trying to present himself as, I mean, yeah, that's incredible that you didn't have running water or electricity up until you were 16 or 4 or something. But whatever your dad and your family was doing, you were able to get an abundance of what you needed. Oh, good point, Lynn. I wonder if you got a facelift, Kira. He should have built a replica of the one he lived in from 4 to 17, but that one had multiple rooms, so he doesn't give the same poor woe is me sob rag to riches feel. Yes. And he doesn't remember this house. let's see. Looks like he had a logging accident. We'll read this part. And obviously take it with a grain of salt because it's been Gary's logging business flourished. Learning to walk again, a rare photo since Gary refused to have a picture taken of him in a wheelchair or using crutches or a walker. Well, but here it is. All right. Okay, Gary Young. God dang it. Oh, is he a painter now too? Unable to work, Gary sold his paintings on a street corner in town on the weekends to earn money after having lost everything because of the accident. Gary again began to make a living in the logging industry by driving a truck retrofitted with a hand clutch, and brakes. So here is... Oh God, sorry. I would love a doctor to look at this. Obviously it's bad, but I would love Amber's husband to take a look at this. I'm going to send her a screenshot. Read the logging accident part because this is one of the biggest lies. Okay, I'm going to read it. Go back. Destiny speaks a terrible accident. Okay, buckle up. Destiny speaks a terrible accident. At 24 years of age... God dang it. At 24 years of age, on February 8th, 1973, Gary suffered a severe logging accident when a cut tree sheared off and hit him in the head, resulting in 3 open skull fractures, a ruptured spinal cord in 3 places that was classified as an incomplete break, 11 ruptured discs, 16 broken and or crushed vertebrae, a broken pelvis, the right scapula broken in 9 pieces, a severed brachial plexus, and 19 broken bones, which included all of the ribs on his right side and several on his left side. Suffering with intense pain with the use of only his left arm, he was confined to a wheelchair with a medical prognosis that he would never walk again. His life was one of 13 drugs, including morphine and an antidepressant. What? Don't you do it, Mary Young. Also, trigger warning, what I'm about to read is in the text. It is a trigger warning for, I should have said that other for mental health, but unaliving, attempting unaliving. So that is going to be coming up. You need to tap out of the chat. Make sure to take care of your mental health. Just do what's best for you. So it's coming up in a few sentences. His life was one of 13 drugs, including morphine, which is a painkiller, and additionally an antidepressant, which are sometimes very life-saving for people in a world that seemed dark and hopeless with no light at the end of the tunnel. After 2 failed attempts at unaliving himself, he sunk into an even deeper state of depression. He had no insurance and slowly lost everything: his logging equipment, his ranch, and his livestock. His wife took the children and left him. What, was there another wife before the one where he was practicing medicine without a license? It's the crux of the Young Living origin story. Yes. Oh my God. His wife took the children and left him, and unable to cope with his current condition and the burden of the future. In his third attempt, he decided to, quote, fast, quote, himself to DEATH. It was the only way out. No one could rescue him or force him to eat. But after 253 days of only drinking water and lemon juice, the most unexpected happened. Listen to me right now if you're watching this chat, or if you're watching the replay crew. Much love to you, but if you're in a very vulnerable spot and you're in a desperate health place, we're reading a story that has been debunked and it has been exaggerated in my opinion. So please do not try out extended fasting. The reason I'm saying this is if you're in a desperate spot, this is not the story to copy to or listen to. But after 253 days of only drinking water and lemon juice, the most unexpected happened. He felt movement in his right toe. The doctors explained it as one of those unexpected medical phenomena. They suspected that because of his fasting, his body did not get the needed nutrients necessary to manufacture scar tissue, enabling some nerve endings to reroute and reconnect, which was the beginning of many years of intense pain in his struggle to walk again. Oh my God. Yes, Tish. So Tish said opiate addict in recovery here. No, morphine is not an antidepressant. It's a major downer. I think they wrote it badly. I think that they were shaming the use of morphine and the use of antidepressants. I don't think that their ghostwriter or Mary Young is that good of a writer. He reconciled himself to living in misery and hopelessness and to find a new path of life where he could survive. Because he couldn't go back to logging and farming, his mind began to expand as he started exploring different avenues of healing and the world of books. Enter pretending to be a doctor. Oh wait, it doesn't say that here. He stopped all his medications to clear his... Listen to me right now. If you are listening to this and you somehow connected with Gary Young's story, do not stop all your medications without the help of a physician for the love of non-misinformation here. He reconciled himself to living in misery and hopelessness and to finding a new path of life where he could survive. Because he couldn't go back to logging and farming, his mind began to expand as he started exploring different avenues of healing and the world of books. He stopped all his medications to clear his mind and began experimenting with different modalities and many avenues of study, attending a community college, going to massage school, running his own health food store, and growing in his knowledge of herbs and natural healing. His amazing road to recovery brought attention from many people wanting help. Sir? Gary's emotional recovery was dramatic. Told in his own words, his story gives us a slight glimpse into his life at that time and is a tremendous insight into his anguish, deep pain, and determination. Gary Young. Oh my God. Okay. So that's what people are believing in Young Living, which I think is important to understand. Let me, Kira, it's in your YouTube. Oh no. Oh God. Safari. Dang it. Why is this doing this? my god, stop. Alright. I'm gonna put the video up here, so I'm gonna open it up in Chrome. YouTube. Oh, wait, what did I do? I don't think I doxed myself. I don't think my widgets are working. Sorry, guys. Hopefully the live chat will work. Okay. I don't remember. Sorry. Let me go back over here. Kira, I know I'm like the dead weight in our MLM activism, but can you send me your your playlist again? I'm sorry. It's been sorry. Let me see if I can get it. How do I search? Ouch. I think it's up here. Gary was busy today. We had lots. Not Gary. Ben. Gary's on my mind. Thank you, Kira. Sorry. Sorry. I'm saving this right now. Copy. I am starring it. Okay. Paste. Ouch. I just bookmarked it. Alright, and I have it up in a separate window. And I've got it here, so new scene. And I'm going to add a window share, and I'm gonna edit it for Chrome. Yes. Let me get the video up first. Okay. And is it the Alley Zoom? The 2-hour one? From 2 months ago? Thank you very much. Allie's upline is in the video. Heather, she is the one released a doTERRA V. Oh.
The Holy Spirit.
Is it this one, Kira? Okay. Oh no, what just happened? Okay. Can I do theater mode? Yes, I can. What the heck's going on? Sorry, guys. I'm trying. Chrome is just being a turd. Alright. Okay. You have to play the whole thing the last half hour or so is a doTERRA pitch. Okay. Let me play it on fast speed. 1.25. Alright.
I should have changed the name because I'm using my husband's Zoom, so it says Flow Trade, and that's his company. But it was like last minute, I'm like, babe, I need a Zoom Pro. We have a lot of people joining. So if you see Flow Trade, that's what it is. And when you click on the Zoom link, you have to put in the passcode, right? So I should share that so people.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Well, unless you get the direct link,
Like,
then you don't have
we'll
to.
probably wait like what 5 minutes so people can get on. And
You guys put where you are listening in from in the chat so we can see where everyone's from.
Why?
let's go.
Iowa, Texas, Iowa, San Diego, Europe. Wow.
Oh, hey. Let's go.
Illinois, Colorado.
Oh
Hey,
no!
Rebecca.
Dang it.
Tennessee, Washington.
Little star.
Washington.
Okay, I'm gonna fix it. Let me try this. You know why? Because it switched over. Let's try. Is there still an echo?
These old stomping grounds. You guys, I'm in Idaho. We were actually really close to each other at one point.
Sorry. Thanks for telling me.
Idaho is beautiful.
It is. Tennessee, Texas, Florida.
Oh, I can blur my background. That's cool.
We good now?
All this sticky stuff. Virginia, Minnesota. I'm also curious how many people are still with Young Living and how many have left or never been part of it.
Blink blank if their echo is gone.
Utah
It should
left
be
in
on.
February, around the time you left, Jenny.
Mm-hmm.
Kids
Okay,
was
great.
Christian last night. Michigan. I'm excited about this. I'm like nervous and excited.
Lynn.
I'm telling you, I was sending you guys a picture of me this morning looking like a mad scientist.
Can I come be a janitor for you in Norway or something at your office? Or I don't know. What can I do? What can I do to join your team?
I'm like, okay, it's time to shower. It's been 2 days. I got to put this core documents down and need to go get a shower.
I'm just going to make this a little bit. I know.
All right. Well, it's 12:05. People are still coming in. I'm assuming at this point they just automatically can get into the
Yes. Thank you.
our Zoom meeting, right? I don't have to actually.
Well,
manually
if they go in the waiting room, Allie, I'll just let people in so
Perfect.
you can start.
All right. Sounds good. Let me close this chat. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I know this topic has been a very sensitive one, and a lot of people have questions that either they have felt uncomfortable to ask, afraid to ask, or have asked and never got a direct answer. So we're just here to go over the things that we have found out, things that have raised major red flags for us, and kind of just set us on a path of searching for something different. And also because of the platforms that we run, the things that we found out, we couldn't just keep them hidden for many reasons. I
would love to work with you, Lynn.
speak on seeking the truth, doing your own research, ask questions, get your answers, so then you can make your own decision, right? Don't let anybody speak for you or not give you the freedom to know more, right? And then another, we on daily basis pray for the Holy Spirit to lead us, right? To use our words to bless others, to guide others, to help them find that truth, because we live in a world with so much noise, so much negativity, so much deception that you've seen the past 2 years, especially. The devil has just been hard out.
Apologies. If you are over sensitive to religious speak, that is happening, obviously. And if you're not around people who believe in Christianity or who claim they're Christians, one of the things is they feel like the Holy Spirit kind of helps guide them and is like a help keeper on the right tracker. I don't know. I should know, but I feel uncomfortable saying it. So if that's uncomfortable for you, you don't have to watch the stream. But I would love a pity like. So if you haven't liked the stream, I would love a like. Thank you so much. Play.
Work causing chaos. So with that being said, again, thanks for being here. I just want to make a statement that none of us have a legal contract with Young Living. Everything that we share here is public record. You can freely search this for yourself. Nothing is hidden. You don't have to have some special, rank or title to find these things. It's all just given to you to read. Once this meeting is done, the recording of it will be posted for you guys to view later. And also all the links, all the core documents, all the articles will be linked in the description of this meeting. So you have them all. So you're not just taking our word for it. You can actually sit back at home and do your own research, which we always tell you guys, do your own research. Don't just take anybody's word for it and, just trust us. Obviously, do your own research. So
Trust us.
we have more people coming in. So we're going to go ahead and get started. All right. First, I want to talk about Gary Young. And because on my Instagram page, I have put up a poll asking people, do you know who Gary Young is? Do you know his story? Have you ever heard about him? And majority of people said only what my Young Living leaders have told me. So just like me, I have joined a very good Young Living team. That's one thing I really want to say, that I was part of a very good team, team of people who have encouraged everybody, who have supported, they provided, classes and education, and we're just really there for you to win. So I want to make that clear, that not everybody doing Young Living is there to get people or to be a bully or to mistreat people. That's the culture that has been.
I like that she said that. I think that's good. I like that she said that.
Kind of said, and that's what people see, but there are good people in there. So when I put up the poll again, they just said, whatever my leader told me is that the story that I know. And I'm like, okay, well, let's research Gary Young. Let's see who he is and see a little bit about his life. So I have a lot of notes. If you see me looking down, I'm reading off of my notes because there's a lot of information. And I'll stop. I was going to do a screen share. So if I'm able, I will show you guys like snippets of newspaper articles, core documents. Again, the print on them might be a little bit too small for you to actually see. That's why we're going to attach links to everything for you to actually review it after this. So
Okay.
Donald Gary Young was born on July 11th, 1949, into a ranching family in Idaho. So Jenny, he was born in Idaho. His father raised grain, hay, and livestock, and his mother worked part-time for several years in a local drugstore. The second oldest of 6 children, Young grew up in a Mormon household and from a young age was drawn to the outdoors. After graduating from high school in 1967, he briefly worked for the U.S. Forest Service. He then moved to Canada, where he homesteaded 320 acres of land for ranching and lodging. In
Okay.
April 19...
If you're just joining us, it's hit the fan today. So here's Spark Notes of what happened. Someone sent me a clip of our buddy Ben Riley commenting on a football game because he zoomed in, or the camera zoomed in. A player was having a cramp on the field, and the trainer was over there like squeezing something out of a red pouch into his mouth. And the caption that Ben Riley said something to the effect of, "It's even good enough for professional or for elite athletes," alluding to the fact that they were giving that player Ningxia from one of the little individual serving size Ningxia pouches, and it wasn't that. Number one, if you've ever drank that Ningxia pouch, you know it's watery. So you barely even have to touch it, and the liquid leaves the pouch after you rip it off. She was like, this one was more thick. You could tell how she was like putting it in his mouth. And yes, Ningxia has some potassium in it, but I would never recommend, not that I'm a doctor or anything, I wouldn't say like, oh man, I'm having a cramp in my leg, take some Ningxia. No. By the time that the person sent it to me who's still in the group, it had been shared 50,000 times. No, it had been viewed 50,000 times. It had been shared over 900 times. Then Kira shares it in the morning on Facebook, and our buddy Ben Riley removes it. And so I was like, I'm not going to be a chicken, because I had posted the video to my page with the little actual packets of what it was. And And I was like, I'm not going to be a chicken. I'm just going to go to his reel and comment on it and say, hey, this is, in my opinion, fraudulent, what you're doing. And blocks Kira, blocks me, and here we are, a pissed off DC, and we're doing a Young Living stream. So we've Jess, makeup artist, found this book. You can see it in the background. So we've been reading through it, and it is basically Propaganda City for Gary Young's backstory. His what is it called when it's like a villain story in a comic book? His backstory. But this lady right here, Allie, she is going to be telling us the actual details and debunking the fluff that we've just read in the book. So it's not really a coherent stream. It's just more of a rage stream. And Kira is the mastermind as always, having all the links up to all the good things.
68, he met a woman named Donna Jean, and 6 months later, he married her. I think Donna Jean is not mentioned very often,
Jennifer.
just as his ex-wife, so understandably his past, but they had 6 children together. So one of Young's early beliefs was that babies delivered underwater seemed to be immunized against various illnesses. He personally delivered 4 of his 6 children with Donna Jean underwater,
yes,
without the help of a medical professional. In September of 1982, the 7th child, a baby girl named Rachel, died in a bath while Young attempted to deliver her at health club he operated in Washington, according to court records and newspaper.
Whoa. The 7th child? Did she say that? So how many kids does Gary Young have? Look, I'm not shaming you. I have 2 brothers and 2 sisters. There's a lot of kids in our family. I'm just don't know. I don't know how many kids he has. Yeah, I think so too, Kira.
Clippings. So that was not just a story that was told, without proof. There's a spoken article writing that the man was arrested on medical charge, and also it was addressed in the court documents. I'm just going to keep this on my screen share.
She brought the freaking receipts.
So, County Colonel Louis Shanks told a spokesman review in 1983 that the baby girl remained underwater for almost an hour before she was removed, and that she probably would have lived if delivered under more conventional methods. It was a perfectly normal, healthy girl, Shanks said. So one thing, I'm going to just be as transparent with you guys as when I was reading those, I'm like, okay, well, that kind of doesn't make sense. I see why. So this is what I'm going to do here. I'm not going to just bash on Gary, right? So right here, they said, okay, well, she probably would have lived if she was delivered under more conventional methods. Okay, what do you mean probably would have lived? Like, did she have other issues that could potentially cause her death, or she died because he drowned her, So he was not, charges were not pressed because at the end, the infant's death certificate attributed the death to cardiac arrest, not drowning. So no charges were pressed. And you know what? Also, it's a very obviously sad thing to lose a child. And if he has delivered, this was his last child that he delivered in an accident happened. I mean, I'm sure that Gary has already lived through a lot of pain and emotion to also have people on social media bash him about it. You know what I mean? So since there was no conviction of murder or manslaughter, we're going to go with the report that the baby died of cardiac arrest.
Okay.
Young's son, Sean, and another son, Matthew, so those were the kids that he had with Donna Jean, both from that marriage, said that the father never mentioned Rachel, the baby that drowned. Also, back then, like in the 80s, were a lot of people delivering at home. If you think about it right now, if you even get on social media, there's so many women encouraging the water birth under supervision of midwives, and they're just empowering women to do that. So in the 80s, how was that? Were a lot of people delivering at home? Were a lot of fathers delivering their own babies, So while Young was never charged in his daughter's death, which was ultimately attributed to cardiac arrest, like I said, the incident did spark alarm among authorities. So that's when authorities started to look into Gary Young, because he delivered that baby, again, at a place where he practiced medicine. So they started looking into him because, he did not have an obstetric license. He performed a delivery, so they raised a red flag. In the court documents, it did mention, again, like I said, that he had 6 children, and then the delivered child, and due to complications, the child was rushed to the hospital and died 2.5 hours after birth. Which, again, when I read that, I'm like, okay, the court document said she died at a hospital, but then the stories we hear said that she drowned at home and was dead in the pool. Did not align. Okay, let's move on. In 1983, the Spokesman Police Department launched an undercover investigation into Gary Young, sending police officers posing as pregnant couple to seek medical advice. Young offered them prenatal services and told them he could treat cancer. So right there, where kind of red flags started to pop up. So, okay, he decided to deliver his own children, which is, your freedom to do as you wish. But then he didn't stop there. He was offering those prenatal services to couples coming to him, to his clinic. He was arrested for practicing medicine without a license and pleaded guilty. He received a year of probation and was ordered to not to engage in the practice of medicine in Washington, not to violate similar licensing laws in other states, and to serve 60 days in a Spokane County jail. I believe I might have those articles, maybe not, but I will attach those court documents.
We just saw the
because
picture.
I do have them printed out. The next thing was, let's go back 10 years. And in February of 1973, so this was 10 years before he pleaded guilty and was charged. At the age of 24, he suffered a near-fatal lodging accident. And this story is known to probably 99% of Young Living people, right?
Yes.
Because that's how the story of how Young Living was born and has started. So in a book that Mary Young wrote, so Mary was not even present for that accident, but she does writes about it in the book that she wrote about Gary. And
That's the book we're reading.
The Blue Books is Gary Young, written by Mary Young. In that book, I do have pictures of that. If you were in my Instagram stories, you saw me asking if somebody has the book and can send me screenshots, because I needed proof and I needed to see it for myself. And somebody did send them to me. So screenshots of those pages where she says, at 24 years of age, on February 8, 1973, Gary suffered a very severe lodging accident when a cut tree shredded off and hit him in the head, resulting in 3 open skull fractures, a ruptured spinal cord in 3 places that was classified as an incomplete break, 11 ruptured discs, 16 broken and or crushed vertebra, a broken pelvis, the right scapula broken in 9 pieces, a severe brachial plexus, and 19 broken bones. I mean, that's like big accident, right? That's a lot of broken bones and skull fractures. He suffered from intense paralysis and intense pain. And then he or she goes on to saying that, look right here, Gary spent 27 months in a wheelchair before learning to walk again. And then after 253 days of only drinking water and lemons, so she says that his depression was so deep that he tried to commit suicide twice.
Whoops. Sorry,
and
guys.
then in his 3rd attempt, he decided to fast, quote, himself to death with this lemon water, which you're about to learn where he got that idea from. Here's a picture of the book where it says that he spent 27 months in a wheelchair before learning to walk. Okay. So Gary was told he'd never walk again. He tried to kill himself. Then he was trying to fast himself to death, which moving forward, you'll understand why that was not the case. The experience, according to Mary, sparked Young's distrust of the medical establishment. His doctors had consigned him to a life in a wheelchair. It was only through fasting that he found his way back to health. Because he couldn't go back to lodging and farming, Mary wrote, his mind began exploring different avenues of healing through the world of books. Well, that's actually not what happened.
What?
Because
Tell us
the court
everything.
documents talk about this very accident. Let me see.
Oh
if
my
I have
God.
those. Okay, I will attach those too. So the court documents say that, actually I have them right here. Don and Donna Jean maintained a lifestyle until February of 1973. So this accident happened when he was married to his first wife. So Mary was not present for this accident, right? So is she retelling Gary's story? Well, obviously she's retelling Gary's story, but this is what the court says. Don was involved, and this is from personal background, education, and employment history, right? It was Washington State against Gary Young. So Don was involved in a serious lodging accident and was hospitalized, listen to this, from February to June 1973 a result. He spent from June until October in a wheelchair. So that's what? June, July, August, September, October. That's 5 months, not 27 months. And that's court documents against Mary's perception of the story or whatever story Gary is telling her, right? So he spent 5 months in a wheelchair. During that time, he started a home study correspondence course in nutrition and herbology, studying particularly degeneration diseases and body rejuvenation. Don was able to start using crutches in early November and kept working on his physical therapy. So 6 months after his car accident, after he lodged an accident, he was able to get on crutches and work on his physical therapy.
This is T.
And then same year, December of the same year, he went and got a part-time job driving a chip truck, whatever that is, working for a lumber company in Vermont, in Columbia. And then in February of 1974, he moved to driving a lodging truck. In May 1974, he owned his own lodging truck and started working as an independent lodging trucker. So you see how court documents don't align with the story Mary wrote in this book about Gary from my opinion, when I read it, to play on emotions of a lot of people. Because if you can make people feel like they can relate with you, or if they have been through a similar tragic accident, you kind of win that trust with them. So during that time, Young grew increasingly drawn to the alternative health world. In 1979, following another accident, he enrolled at the Burroughs Vida Flex Institute, an unaccredited school dedicated to the teaching of Stanley Burroughs, who was convicted of a second-degree murder and on a felony charge of practicing medicine without a license. In 1981, after a cancer patient died from his treatment, Stanley Burroughs, whatever, however you pronounce his name, published a book called Healing for the Age of Enlightenment. That's the book. See the cover of it. If you know anything about the Star of David and how it ties into the occult, here he's using like the colors and the frequencies. But that was the book he wrote, The Age of Enlightenment. So he also wrote a book that's called The Master Cleanser. And listen to this. The Master Cleanser.
What? Oh my God.
Okay. So his second book was The Master Cleanser. If you've heard of that, using water, lemon juice, red pepper, and maple syrup to detox. When I was researching that, the first thing that popped up was Beyonce. Like she was the one kind of, raving about this diet that helps you lose weight and detox. But so if you go back to Mary's story, saying that he, tried to attempt suicide and then he tried to starve himself through this cleanse. Was Gary literally trying to starve himself, or was he genuinely just trying out this cleansing diet of the book that he, of this guy he was studying under? So that again felt like was an over-exaggerated story of what actually was going on. Once again, I feel like playing on emotions of people who, and this is a very sensitive subject to me, suicide and depression, because I have come out of that dark place, and it's never okay to try to manipulate those emotions and make people somehow relate with you. And if that was done, like that's just not okay. So whether he was trying to starve himself to death with this cleanse or simply doing a cleanse because he was studying under the writer and the publisher of that cleanser. So let's talk about this. So this Stanley guy, there's also, right here, there's Supreme Court of State of California. He was also charged, like I said, with practicing medicine without a license and second-degree murder. You'll see kind of the pattern of Gary and the people he studied under being convicted of same exact crimes, right? And then according to court records, Young also attended Don Bach, I believe he was a German guy, so that's how you pronounce it, Don Bach Nutrition University, yet another unaccredited school in Huntington Beach, California, from 1979 until 1981. Now, this individual, Kurt Don Bach, has an interesting story too. He was also convicted, and there was court records against him in California and San Diego. So he was an unlicensed chiropractor and controversial alternative medicine figure who has twice been convicted of practicing medicine without a license. He has faced charges of misbranding drugs for sale, kind of like misbranding or like relabeling things. Unlawfully dispensing drugs as a cure for cancer, tax evasion, practicing medicine without a license and falsely representing a cure for cancer. One thing looking at this, I do want to point out that cancer is like a huge topic, in big pharma medicine. If anybody says they have any type of cure, they get silent shut down, because I believe that cancer is a big, giant, just a money making machine for big pharma and the government. So that he was sentenced to that, and then Dunbach was charged and found guilty of tax evasion. Like, that's a different story, right? Like, you were convicted of practicing without a license, saying you can cure cancer, but now there's also tax evasion and the smuggling of illegal medications in 1996. On April 9, 2009, Dunbach was arrested.
Okay, but you also have to think about what the government can actually prove and what they're bringing to the table. I'm not 100% following what she's saying, but I'm just trying to bring some reason to the slight detour she made about talking about big pharma. So, Karina, hello. I think the fake testing to revelation story was intended to provide a mystical conversion origin story. Fake gurus almost always have one. Good point, Heather.
During his internet radio health show, and charged with 11 felony counts, including dispensing unapproved drugs. San Diego judge ruled there was enough evidence for the case against him to proceed to trial. He faced up to 12 years and 8 months if convicted. The case ended with a plea deal, with him facing up to a year in jail, followed by probation. And then he just didn't stop there. And that's, again, the track record you'll see with Gary as well. On December 13, 2010, Dunbach pleaded guilty to 13 additional felony charges, including practicing medicine without a license and selling misbranded drugs.
Sure.
So it's like these guys get slapped on the
That'd be great, Kira.
they do time in jail, and they come out and they continue to do the same thing. So here is where you'll see how Gary Young, we're going to read some core documents on this one. You see who he was studied under, right? Two people who ran an gosh, I always have a hard time saying that word, unaccredited institutes, and getting his degree through them. Well, Gary Young also said he earned a doctorate in naturopathy between 1982 and 1985 at Bernardin University, also unaccredited. This university well, I don't know how recent, but this university, what I found out, shut down.
For sure. Take care of yourself, Karina.
So they were out of California. No, they were out of Nevada, but their post office address was in California. So in California, press charges shut them down for pretty much giving out these diplomas that anybody could get. And as of now, they have reopened, but they changed their name and still operating. The postal code, like I said, was in Los Angeles, operating under a different name. And again, I'll leave all the links for you guys so you can look for them yourself. In the early 1980s, Young and Donaghy moved to Spokane, Washington, where they opened an herbal shop and nutrition center, according to court records. While there, Young spent 10 weeks at Spokane Community College, taking pre-med courses and studying at the American Institute of Psychology of Neurology. And Mike Maher, who founded and operated the institute, told the Spokesman Review in 1986 that Gary Young had left after attending only a few classes, doing a third of his homework, and owing Maher $1,800 in tuition. So Gary, after his accident, set on this journey of learning, getting these degrees that were from non-legit institutes, or he would go in, maybe get as much as he wanted to get out of it, and then leaving without paying his tuition or actually receiving a degree. In 1983, while on probation for practicing medicine without a license, Young established a health company in the San Diego area, selling products like vitamins, extracts, mouthwash, and a book written by Burroughs. So that Enlightenment book was sold by Gary at his San Diego place. He also opened a clinic in Rosita Beach Clinic across the border in Mexico that claimed to specialize in degenerative diseases. He listed himself in the clinic brochure as the medical director, adding that he relocated to Mexico following harassment from the Orthodox medical profession. So he's on probation in all these states, Washington, California, and then he goes to Mexico, opens a clinic there, continues to do his practice or heal people, whatever he's doing. And he's saying that, they're harassing me, and that's why I had to go to Mexico.
What? Doctor of Divinity from Universal Life Church, Donald Gary Young. I guess I can put this up on the screen. Hold on. y'all. Pause. Pause. Doo-doo. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can get my phone to connect. Oh, shit. Can I make it my phone? Oh, this isn't right. Camera. No. Edit. Alright. Alright. Okay, we got it. We mostly got it. Alright. Okay. Okay. Pan American School of Natural Medicine. This is to certify that Gary Young, by the virtue of successful completion of the prescribed study and practice, to be awarded Doctor of Naturopathy. What year? 2005. Awarded on this day, 28th day of January 2005 at Nevis, West Indies. Beth, hello! How are you? Doctor of Divinity. 2009. Universal Life Church Monastery for outstanding recognition upon completion of studies of the doctrine of the faith. Young Living Academy. I'm gonna read this in Spanish, but my pronunciation is gonna be awful. Los estudiantes del tercer año de bachillerato, I don't know. Period. Y'all can read it yourself. I cannot do this. Gary and Mary Young. 17th of February, 2018. They started that academy. What did you miss? Gosh, Beth. Well, depending on when you went to sleep, I got blocked by Ben Riley. Kira and I both did. Then, we were doing this, gonna just do a, what has Young Living been up to, messing stuff up. And so then I got onto stream. Kira sent me this book that Jess, makeup artist, sent to her, which is Mary Young basically lying about Gary Young. And then we were listening to a video debunking all the stuff we're reading in this book. It's wild. Gary Young, Gerente, General de la Campania, Young Living. I don't know what Valiosa is, but Por su valiosa contribución en beneficio de la niñez de nuestro sector con motivo de las fiestas navideñas. (2007). This is Bernardine University. Don Gary Young, 1995, Doctor of Naturopathy. There's no rights or privileges. There's no nothing associated with that. Masters of Nutrition. Master in Business Management. Is that Gary Young taking or is that, no, that's a girl. with all rights and privileges. The Biz Awards, BIZZ 2007. What? The World Organization of Natural Medicine Practitioners, be it known by all present that Donald Gary Young, having fulfilled all the requirements and regulations established by the World Organization of Natural Medicine Practitioners and upon the recommendation of the Board of Examiners, is hereby registered and acknowledged as a doctor of natural medicine. Why do you have to keep getting it if you've already got it? 2005. Honorary doctorate. Or honorary doctor? Doctor honoris causa? Republic of Peru? (2008) College of Natural Medicine, Bachelor of Science. I'm sure some of these are old templates from Microsoft Word. Yeah, we don't know. Institute of Natural Health. Holy moly. Naturopathic medicine. When you're a doctor, you only have to do this one time. One degree is enough. One doctor, like one MD is enough. You know what I'm saying? They don't have 12,000 MDs. World Organization of Natural Medicine Practitioners. Health Ambassador of the Year. Dr. Gary Young. And there it is. There it flippity flop is. Look at that. Look at that. This is how that stuff gets freaking spread. Are you supposed to call naturopathic doctors? Dude, it's not a medical doctor. Certificate of Added Qualifications, Acupuncture and Oriental Medicine? Hell no. 2005. Dr. Gary Young, New Life Sciences. Isn't that the printing company? Nutritional Microscopy Certification. Has successfully completed the introductory training course on live blood analysis towards the Applied Nutritional Microscopy certification. You want to know what that is? It's where they take your blood, they get a little pinch, you put it on a little slide, you put it under a microscope, and then the doctor, the naturopath, whatever, looks at it and he tells you what you're missing in your nutrition, whatever, or your dehydration or whatever from how your blood looks under the microscope. You know how I know this? Because I've been to a nutritionist who did it before my parents stopped doing stuff like that. And my parents are great, so no shade to them. All right. Donald Gary Young, the title of honorary partner with all its privileges and obligations. What, the Biz Awards? Oh, wait, the Fullness of Life Foundation Humanitarian Award. Founder and president of Young Living. Oh my God. What? Okay, now we got screen share. Nope, and where is it? Screen share? Yep, there we go.
Kind of like we'll get to that. But the mentality that you see culture right now, like, oh, you can't question us. Don't ask questions. Just do what we say. I know better. You're not smart enough. That's kind of how this is where it kind of coming from, right? He offered a variety of therapies and treatments at his clinic. One of them was a 21-day cancer program in 1987. It cost $6,500 and $15,000 in 2020, in addition to like a $280 a week for a room. Desperate people were willing to take a chance on Young's alternative methods. Again,
Desperate people are
I don't
willing
know
to
if he
take a
genuinely wanted to
chance.
help people or he was just so full of his, I don't know. Oh, that was hard to judge.
Thank you
Like,
for
was he
liking the
genuinely
stream.
trying to help, or he was just following this trace of his education, so-called, and this money. I think it was more about him than anything else. Again, the law caught up with him in 1988. California filed a complaint against Young. In 1988, Young was arrested by the Seattle Police Department over a parole violation stemming from the Washington criminal case. He ultimately spent about a month in jail. You'll see all those court cases that you can go through yourself, like I said. That same year, Young faced a third lawsuit filed in Superior Court of San Diego, brought against him by a former Rosarita Clinic employee who alleged he gave Young and his second wife, so he was married 3 times. Mary Young was his third wife. His second wife named Dixie, I believe. So this employee gave them $100,000 intended for clinic development, but they instead kept for their personal use. The complaint also claimed that the Youngs stole corporate funds and failed to distribute insurance payments that had been made to the clinic and were supposed to be reimbursed back to patients. 2 years later, Young was ordered to pay $100,000 to the former employee.
Wow.
I don't know if you guys heard the
Okay.
story of this blood
And I will
samples
say,
that were
like,
sent in.
No, like, we used to go to chiropractors growing up, and the chiropractor was the one who, because we didn't necessarily, we just thought, like, my asthma was acting up, and it just sounded like a super intense, dry cough. But our chiropractor was the one that said, hey, that sounds like, whooping cough. Why don't you go get tested for it just to make sure, because it can be really dangerous, especially if you have asthma. And so we went, and I had whooping cough, and I finally started getting better. But it took a while. So I think there's some good people as chiropractors and who stay in their lane and send you to, the MDs. And I think there's people who try to do too much, for sure. Yeah. The chiropractors we went to growing up weren't like religious, but yeah, I get it.
Of a cat and a chicken to that clinic, but I was reading the story. It was kind of funny because this blood samples were sent to Rosita Beach Clinic.
I'll look into it, Kira.
And so you get a kit in the mail from his clinic, and you're supposed to prick your finger, put your 5 blood spots on each slide. Like, you get a slide with it, you put your blood on it, and then you send it back to a clinic, and along with $60 payment, right, to run diagnosis. Well, a Times reporter prepared 2 slides. So this was another undercover thing. A Times reporter prepared 2 slides using blood from a healthy 7-year-old and 20-pound tabby cat named Boomer that belonged to Glendale veterinarian Ahmed Kalek. The slides were presented at the clinic by the reporter, who identified himself as a prospective patient. Sharon Reynolds, health educator at the clinic, it's in quotation, like health educator, who also casts horoscopes for patients for $50 each. So she works at this Gary's clinic, right? Examine the slides under a microscope that projects. Oh my gosh, my page just got messed up. Anyway, so sorry about that, guys. I'll attach the story
Okay.
for you to look at. But anyway, she looks at the slides and she sees blood, and she goes back and she says, okay, there's an aggressive cancer in it, when it was a blood of a cat, right? Then they said, okay, in a couple of weeks, do follow-ups and another sample in, we'll run it again. And then this time he sends a sample of a chicken. And then she comes back with, okay, there's leukemia present, but it's not aggressive or something. And then they told her, like, they actually sent this sample to a vet. And the first thing the vet said, like, this is not human blood, this is chicken blood, what's going on? And when they came back to tell her, she said, well, how would I know? I've never seen chicken's blood. So the whole story is just, it's crazy. You'll read it for yourself. The last thing I want to talk about is Gary's degree. And this was recent. Well, how recent? 2007 or 8, whenever the latest lawsuit was between them and another company. But this was verbatim. I'm going to read to you from court documents. He is being questioned, Gary, on stand under oath. And here's what he's being asked. Now, the last thing, when we broke the last time, I was trying to find out your degrees. Did you remember what the school was in Toronto that you claim you got your bachelor's degree from? And Gary answers with, I didn't look. So the attorney says, do you have any other degrees you forgot to tell us about that you claim you obtained any time? And he says, yes, I have a master's degree and I have a naturopathic degree. And the attorney asked from Bernardine. He said, yes, and that is all? Yes. Well, don't you claim that you got another naturopathic degree from a school called the Sacred Medical Order of the Church of Hope from the Virgin Islands? And he answers, I don't recall that. You don't recall going and talking to Dr. Hill with you to your you don't recall going and taking Dr. Hill with you to your graduation where you were knighted from the Sacred Medical Order of the Church of Hope. Do you remember that? Put a little sword on your shoulders and knighted you in graduation. And he answers, not with Dr. Hill, no. The question follows, well, let me see if I understand. You do now recall graduating from this school and being knighted, but you don't recall Dr. Hill being there. Is that what you're saying? He said, no. So neither one. You did not go to graduation with the Sacred Medical Order of the Church of Hope to get a new doctor's degree, or it didn't happen. And he said, I don't recall the name. So he's like avoiding answering the actual question. So then attorney says, wait a minute, are you now saying there was another doctor's degree you claim you got? You just now don't remember the school either. And Gary said, I've been given a couple of honorary degrees. I don't remember that one. You're claiming this is an honorary degree. Is that what you're saying? And he said, I don't recall. Then the question goes, you've used that title from this school when you speak publicly from time to time, correct? He said, no. You claim to be Sir Gary, right? Gary answers, that is correct. And then he said, and you claim to have a diplomatic passport issued to you by the Sacred Medical Order of the Church of Hope located in the Virgin Islands. He said, that is not correct. Then the question goes again, you tried to get a bachelor's degree. Again, this degree was conferred upon you, whether it was since Dr. Hill has been in the company, correct? And he said, I don't recall. And then the attorney pretty much just drops the question and says, you know what, invasion or whatever, however they say, like avoiding to answer the question, and they close the case. So when I was just looking through all of this and the kind of the, what am I trying to say? The people he studied under, the kind of things that they were operating under, like the unaccredited schools, treating people, getting convicted of murder, losing their license. And then obviously if trickles down from the top, right? If you're under that leadership and you're under that teaching, you're going to essentially do the same thing because you pick who you study under, you pick your leaders. And if that's who he was influenced by, then it makes sense that he was just hopping from state to state, having problems with the law, avoiding being responsible for his actions and just continuing to do the same thing. So now that we talked about Gary and covered some stories that you all heard on social media, I want to talk about the birth of actual Young Living Company. So according to Mary Young's telling, Young was first introduced to essential oils by a Swiss woman named Anna Marie, who brought her sick sister to his research center in Mexico in 1983 seeking help. She provided Young with an envelope of research, translated from French, about essential oils. Fascinated, he stayed up all night reading, and following day said he wanted to know more. That moment, the book said, served as a genesis of Young's quest. So that's, again, I'm assuming from the book that Mary wrote about him. But in the late 1980s, according to court records, Young started a company called Young Life International, and he used a multi-level marketing plan to sell products like Colon Aid, a combination of herbs, trace minerals, and herbal essential oils, which work together to help rid the body of toxins, liver tone. And in 1988, pamphlet promoting liver tone and Colon Aid referred to Young as Dr. Young. So if you notice, nobody ever calls him Donald or Don. That's his actual first name, right? But you always see D. Gary Young, because they used to write Dr. Young, but then they had to remove the R because he's not an actual doctor, but they left the D in it. So whenever even I read something about him and I see D, I automatically, oh, Dr. Young. Oh no, hold on, he's not a doctor. But they purposely don't write out his whole name So that's when Young met his third wife, Mary, in 1993 Expo and Salt Lake City, that his empire began its march towards domination in the alternative health business. A former opera singer, never knew she was an opera singer. It's kind of cool. But Mary had previously worked at another multi-level marketing company called Sunrider International and brought her direct selling chops to Young's operation.
It's
So of course, me being curious, I went to look at this.
I was checking
company,
my
Sunrider, that Mary worked for,
email.
and it started in 1982 in Utah. It was a multi-level marketing company owned by Dr. Oil Lin Chen, and so it was two spouses. Well, in 1995, the Chens, who were owners of this company, were orchestrating a tax customs fraud scheme to evade tens of millions of dollars in taxes. They were indicated by a federal grand jury on 20 counts, charging them with conspiracy, once again, tax evasion, filing of false corporate tax returns, and smuggling. In 1997, the Chens entered into a plea bargain with the court on the charges of tax evasion and customs fraud. Tay Fu Chen served nearly a year in a minimum security prison, while his wife, Oh Li Chen, served 6 months of home detention. The couple paid over $100 million in back taxes, interest, and penalties, and an additional $4 million to avoid forfeiting the items that were accused of smuggling and undervaluing. So that's the company that Mary came from and worked for. Met Gary, and she kind of brought her experience, right, with her. A former Young Living employee told Insider that Mary held herself out as an expert at multi-level marketing. I think in reality, this is quote, and when I was reading all this research, they made a statement right away that a lot of these people wanted to stay anonymous and they did not want to have their names shared. And if you pay attention to what's going on every time this topic of Young Living is being brought up, you know that people feel very nervous to even speak up about this or ask any questions because either they get booted, attacked, or Young Living goes after them legally, actually, and shuts them down. So this employee said that, I think in reality, Mary was a little bit more of a manipulator of individuals, but I don't sense that either of them had a huge skill set other than being able to stand up on stage and kind of tell people what they wanted to hear. And the reason why I wanted to share that very specific article, paragraph, because it made me think of the book, right? She writes one story, but then in reality, Core tells you, which I assume was told by Gary, a completely different story. So the skill set to play on people's emotions is shared by this employee that happened to work for them years and years and years later. The couple relaunched Young Living as a more active Young Living a year later in Utah. Mary, according to one former employee, provided the startup funds, brought in colleagues from Sunrider, and was the majority owner. So while this company owners are doing time in prison and, stealing funds, evading taxes, Mary brings her funds from this company that she worked for along with colleagues and was the majority of owner. Just keep that in mind and bring this with you to the end of the Zoom call, because the hypocrisy is just beyond anything else you've ever seen. And that is one thing that's just mind-blowing to me. Another employee said that Gary did not really have any educational training to speak of. He always used to like for us to call him ND, a naturopathic doctor, but he had a degree from a diploma mill. We'll always remove that from anything that he would write. He loved to be called Dr. Young, and we wouldn't allow him to do that, obviously for legal reasons, right? You can't just stamp doctor before your name if you do not have a degree to show for it. And that's why those court records, they're always asking him, well, didn't you get a diploma? Well, what college did you go to? What university did you go to? With Young and his wife at the helm, Young Living grew sustainably throughout the 2000s, and essential oils transformed from a French curiosity to a mass market product. Oils leap across political boundaries, attracting everyone from liberal coastal yogis to religious conservatives in rural communities across the middle of America. So it talks about how, people were attracted, growing their empires, growing their businesses, building businesses on that. So another employee says that employees work tirelessly, often against their employers' wishes, to create a legitimate business out of Young's chaotic impulses. Several employees told Insider that Young had the presence of a cult leader, creating an erratic corporate environment in which employees had no choice but to just follow his wishes, no matter how ill-advised they were. Young Living, quote, really ran on this guy's personality. A former employee told Insider, more than in a way that anybody would be used in a serious company, there is something oddly charismatic about the guy. And people followed him like he was a god. And a lot of people who reach out to me and share their experience with Young Living, they do say, something just felt off. Like this whole elevating and putting Gary on this pedestal just didn't seem right with me. So not only the members felt that way that go to these conventions, but also people who work for him felt the same way. Like they were like, it was weird. Like we had just to do whatever he said, and he had this persona about him that just sucked people in. Again, playing on emotions of people. So among the lavish projects, Young poured funds into his Justin Arenas at his lavender farm in Utah. Young decked out in a medieval armor, wanted to ride against opponents carrying lances, and that's all just going over how he just spent money left and right, which will bring us to the point of a speech that Mary recently did. I shared that video on my page.
Just really quickly, on the top picture over here, Gary is jousting. I think that's Gary. It says, when Gary brought jousting to the farm, it became a very special and exciting event. I know, I'm just putting through the pages as we're listening to her.
Page last night of her saying, you know, we're nearing a bankruptcy, we're operating in the red and all these things. Well, if you follow this track record of them just spending money left and right, it would make sense why the company would be going under. He once proposed building a $3.5 billion amusement park and 5-star hotel that was to be a somewhat religious essential oil experience. At one point, he developed a love for airplanes and bought several small ones, even though aides told him that the company couldn't afford them, one employee said. Another employee also confirmed that Young purchased a number of airplanes. Former employees recall Young often demanding extensive changes to the yearly convention just weeks before the event was to take place. By then, the team had already been planning the event for about a year, and his demands would significantly increase cost. One source summed up his demanding personality as a last-minute firework in an impossible area in France where it was...
Kira, yes. Marcella, or Melissa, is it Marcella Von Harding? Who is it? Is it Doctor? Well, Marcella Von Harding, PhD, wrote the foreword, or wrote a review on this book. Mary Young did. Brenda Schuler, Royal Crown Diamond did, and Francis Fuller on this book.
Where it was extraordinarily expensive, just blowing the budget out of the water just because he wanted fireworks. Another quote, everybody was just kind of expected to move mountains in order to make it happen. On another occasion, Young ordered his staff to delay an entire cruise ship so that he could stay at location longer. And a former employee told him, you can't just stop at Royal Caribbean. They've got places to be. They don't care if you're Gary Young. The Source Insider says that adding
oh, great.
So the source added that Young was eventually helicoptered to the next stop of the Caribbean cruise. So all this extravagant lifestyle, spending company's money, people have to bail out the company, pull it out of red multiple times, almost going bankrupt, having to change the comp plans. And like you saw the example of that in this Mary speech again last night that she said, like, we've been here before, we did it, we're going to do it again. You just have to kind of put on your working boots on and go to work and make your team work harder.
She was a co-author of that book.
And I'm going to finish off with this. There was a big case in 2017, I believe. Gary Young was, so the company was sued for illegally trafficking rosewood oil from Peru.
The main girl talking is Allie, I think. Is that right, Kira? She left Young Living and went to doTERRA. The girl below her is her upline, I think. I don't know. It's confusing.
Into U.S. In 2017, Young Living pleaded guilty to illegally trafficking rosewood from Peru to the U.S., and the company was ordered to pay $135,000 to the Peruvian government, in addition to a $500,000 fine and $125,000 community service payment to the National Fish and Wildlife Foundation, according to court records. So there's court records for you to look through. Once one employee said that once he made a decision, Gary's wisdom was superior to what laws may have been out there. And this is not just, an employee said that. You can see his track record of being on probation, breaking the law, breaking the rules, and just moving on to another state and doing the same thing over and over and over again, because he really thought that he was above the law and he could just do whatever he wanted.
Her upline's Heather.
There was a story of him performing a stunt with a grizzly bear, which was a crazy idea, but again, the company had to go with it. They brought in a grizzly bear that I guess Gary was it was a promotional video for an oil. And Gary said the entire shoot was safe. He never actually got within 15 feet of the animal, which was trained and kept behind an electric wire. But the company said for the final cut, before they put out this commercial, they used Photoshop to remove the wire. And in the commercial, it was just showing that the bear, Gary said, licked this oil off his hands. And the employer said that they were just fed up, and he just said he just full of lying. He was extremely charismatic, the source said, but he was just kind of a full of beep, to be honest. Like, I liked him personally, but he was just a snake oil salesman. So, and that was just personal opinions of people who directly worked within the company. I wanted to start off with that just to give you kind of a background look into Gary, how he lived his life, how he ran his business. And there's just breadcrumbs of, like, this is just like literally hitting the top of the iceberg, because if you dig and you read through paperwork, you will find more and more and more stories. Well, in January of this year, there was a book that came out, and it was not only forwarded, I'll let my friend Jenny talk about this, that has raised even more red flags and made a lot of people leave the company. So Jenny, do you want to come on and talk about that part?
Yeah. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yep.
Good. Okay. So many of you saw my Instagram stories. It was February 10th. I looked last night of when I talked about it. And first off, let me start off by saying I was not with Young Living long. I did not make a ton of money. And it was not really about like money to me. More so just using some of the products and sharing it. So, I got sent something on Instagram in February with a diamond. I believe that was her status in the company. Got sent a book, and what the book was called or is called is My Word Made Flesh.
Oh boy,
you guys,
we know that book.
Okay. I'm assuming, and I could be totally wrong, but if most of you who follow myself and Allie are believers, are Christians, but that phrase, My Word Made Flesh. So it was written by Robert Tennyson Stevens with Marcella von Harting, who's a PhD, with the foreword by Mary Young. Now, at first I'm like, oh well, like I don't need to worry about this. But I started looking more into it. So the subtitle of it is Awakening Your Health and Wealth Through the Words You Speak in 7 Revealing Steps. So what this book is essentially was giving people guidance to use oils certain ways by saying certain things at certain times. You guys, that is a seance. That is an occult practice. And so,
well, okay.
The other kickback that I got from it was, well, Mary just forwarded it. She didn't write it. Yes, that is true. But what I do want to point out is that when you align yourself with something that is of the occult practice, that is witchcraft, that is new age, it will creep in. It absolutely will. So I want to read you just a little bit, like snippets here and there out of this book. So this is a quote from Gary Young, and it's funny because it actually says Dr. D. Gary Young. And it says, the pure intelligence of essential oils may be the only tool that can reach into the deep recesses of our brain, cross over the chemical barriers, and open the hidden channels of our mind, allowing access to greater knowledge and discernment in reaching our highest potential to become more Christ-like. Okay.
I
huge
think
red flag. Huge red flag. Some of the other comments that are in here, it says that you say this during like diffusing certain oils. You say, I am comes from within. The oils are lubricating the memory of light and restoration of light in us.
Where's the science for that? I mean, I know she's not saying it. I think they're talking about, it's the same book that I left Young Living over. So it's, I don't know. The parts that I had an issue with weren't the parts that they're bringing up. I didn't think it was a seance. I thought it was new agey. I thought, and Kira literally like broke down the book on one of her, blog posts. Affirmations are very mainstream. It was more of like manifestation as opposed to affirmation, in my opinion. It's more new thought. Okay. Yeah. I don't know all the details. The thing that rubbed me the wrong way was the I am part, which It's fine. And the thing that made me really mad was all of the censorship that all of my buddies in Young Living were so against up until the point when it benefited them, and they all decided not to share the information of what was making people upset about the book. So, yep. Yeah, click on Kira's link. Young Living Cult Book Breakdown. That would be a good title for a video. Yeah, definitely y'all should. Whoa, why am I getting so big? No! There we go. Oh my gosh. Should we keep listening, or like what? I think I need to make a part 2 because I'm like drooping a little bit. Let's click on Kira's HTTPS. There we go. Yep, Melissa Truitt. So here's Kira's website. This is the article that she wrote. And it's very detailed. It's amazing. So if you want to take a gander, give Kira the click and check this out because it's a ton of amazing information. Yep, this is all in so this is in the book, but this is also in the essential oil desk reference I have too. Yep, and Gary's not a doctor. Let's see. Yeah. Hi, Lim. Well, I think we're gonna try to. I'm gonna go through this book because there's some like personal, and again, all the people that either wrote or endorsed the book that the My Word Made Flesh, they wrote. Marcella von Harding wrote a recommendation on the back. Mary Young did. And all of them are Royal Crown Diamonds or the CEO. They all had their long intros. And then it's just picture after picture at events. So I'll just set up my top-down camera to look at it. At one time, what? What is Gary Young doing? Do you see that? Do you see this? What? She went to France. I think Mary absolutely thought that the My Word Made Flesh was going to be a product mover for Young Living, and the backlash she received for it was maybe surprising to her, but she was fully behind it. I received a newsletter from Young Living where Mary Young recommended all of us buy the book a year before the book came out, or 10 months before the book came out. Challenges and solutions. Oh my gosh, you're talking. Wow. This is. When was this book written? 2018? Published by Oil Freedom Academy, Oil Freedom Production Limited, Oil Freedom info@gmail.com. Life Science Publishing. Kira. Look. Isn't that who did the desk reference? Wow. Looked like she helped open Hong Kong. Sorry, my allergies are kicking up, so I'm like, my throat's being weird. I think I got this book for like $6 or $4. Asia Pacific Area Conference Leadership Summit, Singapore, November 2015. I mean, there's lots of good pictures in here. Yeah, just Gary being Gary. If I find it, I think in the move, I ended up either misplacing it or it's still, we've mostly unpacked everything. It just, stuff gets lost. But I do have a copy of an online publication of that same one. I can send that to you, but maybe that doesn't count because it's not an actual physical copy. So, y'all, it's been a wild ride. Thanks for hanging out. I'm going to... We're still doing Snarkmas. We're just not doing like 12 days of Snarkmas in terms of like December 1st to December 12th. We're just doing 12 days before the 25th because everyone's schedule is super busy and I'm going to be doing more Young Living stuff. So hope y'all have a good day or evening wherever you're at, and I will catch you on the next live stream. Goodbye.